Hello guys, welcome to this video where I talk about the importance of genetics in biological science and the related fields. So here we're going to see how basically genetics is important in this study of biology and the other related fields. Let's start with the first one, that genetics is important as in the determination of the blood groups genetically. We've often seen that genetics are applied to blood grouping. Now, the blood grouping is very important in human life as it enables the determination of blood groups so as the donor blood can be transferred to needy patients or recipients without agitation or clotting or causing any adverse reactions. So, determination of blood groups is essential as when it happens that there is a need for a blood transfusion. So in order to avoid the clotting and the agglutination of blood among the people or among the patient and the one who is donating the blood, so the studying and the determination of the blood groups is essential. We've seen that there are four blood groups that are A, B, A, B, AB, and O. Now, there are two special blood groups when it comes to blood transfusions. People with the blood type O are universal donors because there are no molecules on the surface of the red blood cells that can trigger an immune response, as we start this in the study of genetics. That also people with the type AB blood are universal recipients because they do not have any antibodies that will recognize type A or type B surface molecules. So basically, you can identify this and determine this through the study of genetics. So this is the first point is clear. Moving on, the second one is that in a plant and the animal breeding, we've seen that the process of choosing animals and the plants with the certain desired qualities, such as the increased the yields, tolerance to drought, resistance to disease, and the faster growth, is referred to as this artificial selection. So artificial breeding is done by inbreeding and cross breeding. Inbreeding is what involves the breeding closely related organisms. Thus, the required qualities are retained from one generation to another. Now, plants with the desired qualities are inbreed through successive selfing, whereby the excessive inbreeding reduces the genetic diversity, health, and fitness. Crossbreeding is also called as the hybridization, whereby the different varieties of the same species are interbred in order to combine the adventurous traits of one variant with those of another. So basically, this is just how genetics is related to the plant and the animal breeding, and it enables to have the quite hybrid. The third one is that in genetic counseling, genetic counseling here we talk about genetic counseling is the giving of professional advice and information about the inherited disorders and diseases so as to help people make informed decisions. Whether example like parents have to know and to make informed decisions about their condition, maybe according to their inherited disorder or disease. Now, the patients or relatives at risk of an inherited disorder are advised of the consequences and the nature of the disorder, the probability of developing or inheriting it, and the options open to them to avoid propagating the problem to future generations. Now, the advice mainly aims at controlling and preventing inheritable diseases and disorders like sickle cell anemia, albinism, hemophilia, color blindness, etc. The fourth one is that in genetic engineering, what do you mean when you talk about genetic engineering? This is the process of manually adding new DNA to an organism. Now, the goal is to add one or more nutrients that are not already found in that organism. Now, examples of these genetic engineering or transgenic organisms currently on the market include these plants with the resistance to some insects, plants that can tolerate herbicides, and the crops with the modified oil content. And the last one, we're going to talk about the forensics or the criminal investigation. Uh, what do you mean when you talk about the forensics? This refers to the use of science and the technology to investigate and establish facts in a criminal or civil court of laws. Now, the police can use DNA fingerprints to catch criminals. Now, this technique can be identified on individuals on the basis of their genetic information. So here we see where genetic can be applied. Now, in practice, the test is used to determine whether a family relationships exist between these two people, to identify organisms causing a disease, and to solve crimes. Now, a small sample size is needed for the DNA fingerprints. A drop of blood or a lot of air contains enough DNA for testing. So that's how genetics can be applied in this study of investigation. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope it's clear. We've talked about a few of the importance of genetics related to biological science and the other fields. Thank you.